My wife took serious action against me after knowing that I sold our home. I never thought I would be the kind of woman who would take legal action against her own husband. Life has a strange way of changing people. One day you are building dreams together, and the next day you are standing alone, trying to protect what is left of your dignity. This is not a story of anger. This is a story of a woman who finally chose herself. Our home was not just a house, it was where I believed our love lived. Every wall carried memories, every corner held a small piece of our happiness. I trusted that no matter what problems we faced, we would face them together. I believed that marriage meant partnership, honesty, and respect. But I learned that trust can be broken in the quietest way possible. One afternoon, I found a legal envelope in our mailbox. At first, I didn't think much of it. I opened it casually, expecting another bill or notice. But the moment I read the words on that paper, my heart stopped. The house had been sold, our house, and I had no idea about it. My hands started shaking, not because of fear, but because of disbelief. I read the paper again and again, hoping I was misunderstanding something, but the truth was clear. My husband had sold our home without telling me. When he came home that evening, I was sitting in silence. I held the paper in my hand and waited for him to speak. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I just asked him to tell me it wasn't true. He looked at me and said nothing. That silence hurt more than any argument ever could. In that moment, I realized that I had been removed from the most important decision of my own life. Later that night, he tried to explain. He told me about debts, financial pressure, and the fear of losing everything. I listened to him carefully. I understood his struggle. But what I could not understand was why he didn't trust me enough to share his fears. Why did he think I was too weak to stand beside him? Why did he choose to make such a huge decision alone? That night, I packed a small bag and went to my parents' house, not because I hated him, but because I needed to breathe. For days, I stayed quiet, thinking about everything. I kept asking myself if I was being too harsh. After all, he was under pressure. But every time I tried to forgive him in my mind, I remembered that paper again. I remembered how invisible I felt. Pressure does not give anyone the right to take away another person's voice. Marriage is not about control, it is about sharing. 2 weeks later, I made the hardest decision of my life. I contacted a lawyer, not because I wanted revenge, but because I wanted to protect myself. People around me told me to stay quiet, to adjust, to save my marriage, but no one told him to respect me. No one told him to be honest. I realized then that sometimes society expects women to stay silent even when their rights are taken away. When I finally took legal action, my husband was shocked. He never thought I would stand up for myself. But this was not just about a house anymore. This was about trust, dignity, and self respect. Sitting in the courtroom for the first time felt unreal. Once, we had stood together against the world. Now, we stood on opposite sides. When the judge asked me why I had taken such a serious step, I spoke from my heart. I said that I trusted him with my life, but he didn't trust me with the truth. The courtroom became silent, and for the first time since everything happened, I felt heard. Not as a wife, not as a victim, but as a human being who deserved respect. The case went on for months. Those months were full of pain and deep thinking. Some nights I cried alone, missing the man he used to be. Some days I felt strong, knowing I had chosen self worth over silent suffering. One day after a hearing, he tried to talk to me. He said he never wanted to hurt me. I looked at him and told him that he did hurt me, and now I had to protect myself. That was not anger speaking, that was strength. In the end, the court ruled that selling shared property without consent was wrong. He was ordered to take responsibility and compensate me. But even after the decision, I didn't feel happy. Because when love turns into legal battles, nobody really wins. You only learn, you only grow, you only move on. Today, I live alone in a small apartment. It is quiet and peaceful. It is not the life I once dreamed of, but it is a life where I respect myself. I learned that love without respect becomes control, and trust without honesty becomes a lie. Marriage without partnership becomes loneliness. I don't hate my husband. I still wish him well. But I wish he had trusted me enough to say that he was scared, that he was failing, that he needed me. If he had said that, maybe I would never have needed to say that. I deserve better. People say I took serious action against my husband, but the truth is, I finally took serious action for myself, and that changed everything.